In 1 Samuel chapter 4, it talked about the children of Israel. At that point in time, they were rebellious, very stubborn. They turned their backs on God. They were idolatrous. They committed adultery. And they were faced with their enemies, the Philistines. The first battle that they went out to, they were destroyed. 4,000 men were killed. And they went back to their camp and they regrouped. And the elders said, why not bring out the Ark of the Covenant? And as soon as they did that, the children of Israel gave a loud and boisterous sound. It was so loud that it shook the earth and it instilled fear in the Philistines. However, the Philistines, they encouraged themselves because what they were thinking about is that, hey, this Ark of the Covenant and this God that they serve, this God took them out of the land of Egypt. He opened the Red Seas, and there were so many signs and wonders that they would have heard. So they became discouraged, they became fearful, but they still encouraged themselves and say, hey, I'm going to move forward. Let us move forward and try to overcome the Israelites. And when they did, they won. They killed 30,000 foot soldiers of the Israelites. They took the Ark of the Covenant and they killed 2 priests. Now the Israelites retreated. They were in dismay. Even the priest Eli, when he heard the Ark of the Covenant was taken, he fell back in his chair and he broke his neck and he died. That is how serious the Ark of the Covenant was. But at that point in time, the children of Israel was not focused on the presence of God. They were not focused on relationship. They were not concerned about their sins and their rebelliousness towards God. They were more concerned about winning. Because the Ark of the Covenant was used in times past, they thought it would have worked again, even in their state of rebellion and sin. And it's like God is saying to them, and He's saying to us, if you don't want my presence, if you don't want to build a relationship with me, if you are not concerned about your disobedience to me, then don't expect me to come through for you whenever you feel like it. And He's saying that even in these times, we feel as though we are entitled because we have something that represents God. We disconnect our ties from our true, genuine relationship with God, and we focus on that thing. So whether it be a symbol of the cross tied around your neck, whether it be you feel entitled because of your titles, your giftings, your talents, because you have a very strong generational lineage, because you have the most beautiful voice in all the world. You have titles, apostle, preacher, prophet, evangelist, whatever it is. You feel entitled. There's something that is causing you to feel entitled and to feel as though whenever you call upon God, even in my state of continuous sin and rebellion, that God have to come through for us. So I believe the children of Israel were thinking that, hey, the Ark of the Covenant represents the presence of God. It represents victory. It represents God's covenant with us, that He will always be there for us. So they disregarded their rebelliousness. They disregarded their disobedience. And they are saying, and this is what they're saying in the face of God, your presence is supposed to be in the Ark of the Covenant. That is where you're stationed, God. You told us to build the Ark of the Covenant so that your presence can infiltrate that, and it can come through for us whenever we want you to come through for us. It's supposed to be in there, God. Your presence is supposed to be in there. So regardless of our sin and our rebelliousness, you're still supposed to work whenever we present you towards our enemies. We are supposed to be victorious. So the children of Israel, I believe, felt entitled because they had the symbol of the Ark of the Covenant. And as I said before, this Ark of the Covenant, I believe the elders would have considered that to be some kind of magical, superstitious emblem. that will always have their back and bring them luck whenever they reach out for help. And I'm saying again, God is saying to us, if we are not interested in building relationship, honing the presence of God, focusing on obedience and humility and meekness, thirsting and panting after God, don't expect anything from Him in return. At this point in time, I believe there is a call for humility. There is a call for us to find our position in the body of Christ. It is a call to understand that we are nothing without God. If God decides to move, He moves. That we have to ask God to remove that spirit of entitlement and introduce us to that spirit of humility and meekness. And we have to understand that presence and relationship is more important than winning the battle. So in these times, let us take heed to what God is saying to us through the children of Israel. God is not interested in the physical things that you have. He's interested in your broken and contrite heart, and He's interested in your relationship and your disposition to getting to know more about God. That is what He's interested in. That is what He's coming back for. That is what He responds to. So let us get it right.